South India is the area encompassing the Indian states of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Telangana, as well as the union territories of Andaman and Nicobar, Lakshadweep and Puducherry, occupying 19.31% of India's area, covering the southern part of the peninsular Deccan Plateau. South India is bounded by the Bay of Bengal in the east, the Arabian Sea in the west and the Indian Ocean in the south. The geography of the region is diverse, with two mountain ranges, the Western and Eastern Ghats, bordering the plateau heartland. Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri, Tungabhadra and Vaigai rivers are important non-perennial sources of water. Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, Coimbatore and Kochi are the largest urban areas. Majority of the people in South India speak one of the four major Dravidian languages: Telugu, Tamil, Kannada and Malayalam. During its history, a number of dynastic kingdoms ruled over parts of South India, whose invasions across southern and southeastern Asia impacted the history and culture in those regions. Major dynasties that were established in South India include the Cheras, Cholas, Pandyas, Pallavas, Satavahanas, Chalukyas, Rashtrakutas and Vijayanagara. European countries entered India through Kerala, and the region was colonized by Britain and other nations. After experiencing fluctuations in the decades immediately after Indian independence, the economies of South Indian states have registered higher than national average growth over the past 3 decades, while South Indian states have improved in some socio-economic metrics. Poverty continues to affect the region much like the rest of the country, although it has considerably decreased over the years. HDI in southern states is high, and the economy has undergone growth at a faster rate than most northern states. Literacy rates in southern states is higher than the national average, with approximately 80% of the population capable of reading and writing. The fertility rate in South India is 1.9, the lowest of all regions in India. Etymology: South India, also known as Peninsular India, has been known by several other names. The term Deccan, referring to the area covered by the Deccan Plateau that covers most of peninsular India excluding the coastal areas, is an anglicized form of the word Prakrit Dakshin, derived from the Sanskrit word Dakshina meaning south. Karnataka, derived from Karnad or Karunad meaning high country, has also been associated with South India. History: Ancient era carbon dating on ash mounds associated with Neolithic cultures in South India date back to 8000 BCE. Artifacts such as ground stone axes and minor copper objects have been found in the region. Towards the beginning of 1000 BCE, iron technology spread through the region. However, there does not appear to be a fully developed Bronze Age preceding the Iron Age in South India. The region was in the middle of a trade route that extended from Muziris to Arikamedu, linking the Mediterranean and East Asia. Trade with Phoenicians, Romans, Greeks, Arabs, Syrians, Jews and Chinese began from the Sangam period. The region was part of the ancient Silk Road, connecting the Asian continent in the east and the west. Several dynasties such as the Cheras of Karufia, the Pandyas of Maduri, the Cholas of Thanjavur, the Satavahanas of Amaravati, the Pallavas of Kanchi, the Kadambas of Banavasi, the Western Gangas of Kola, the Rashtrakutas of Manyaketa, the Chalukyas of Badami, the Hoysalas of Belur and the Kakatiyas of Arugulu ruled over the region from 6th century BC to 14th century AD. The Vijayanagara Empire, founded in 14th century AD, was the last Indian dynasty that ruled over the region. After repeated invasions from the Sultanate of Delhi and the fall of Vijayanagara Empire in 1646, the region was ruled by Deccan Sultanates. Poligas and Nayak, governors of Vijayanagara Empire, who declared independence. colonial era. The Europeans arrived in the 15th century, and by the middle of the 18th century, the French and the British were involved in a protracted struggle for military control over South India. After the defeat of Tipu Sultan in the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War in 1799 and the end of the Vellore Mutiny in 1806, the British consolidated the power over much of present-day South India with the exception of French Pondicherry. The British Empire took control of the region from the British East India Company in 1857. During the British colonial rule, the region was divided into the Madras Presidency, Hyderabad State, Mysore, Travancore, Kochi, Vizianagaram and a number of other minor princely states. The region played a major role in the Indian independence movement. Of the 72 delegates who participated in the first session of the Indian National Congress at Bombay in December 1885, 22 hailed from South India. Post-independence. After the independence of India in 1947, the region was organized into 4 states: Madras State, Mysore State, Hyderabad State and Travancore-Kochi. The States Reorganization Act of 1956 reorganized the states on linguistic lines, resulting in the creation of the new states of Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu. As a result of this act, Madras State retained its name and Kanyakumari district was added to it from the state of Travancore-Kochi. The state was subsequently renamed Tamil Nadu in 1968. Andhra Pradesh was created through the merger of Andhra State with the Telugu-speaking districts of the Hyderabad State in 1956. Kerala emerged from the merger of Malabar district and the Kasaragod taluk of South Kannada districts of the Madras state with Travancore-Kochi. Mysore state was reorganized with the addition of districts of Bellary and South Kannada and the Kollegal taluk of Coimbatore district from the Madras state. The districts of Belgaum, Bijapur, North Kannada and Dharwad from the Bombay state. The Kannada majority districts of Bidar, Raichur and Gulbarga from the Hyderabad state and the province of Coorg. Mysore state was renamed as Karnataka in 1973. The Union Territory of Puducherry was created in 1954, comprising the previous French enclaves of Pondicherry, Karaikal, Janam and Mahé. The Lakshadweep Islands, which were divided between South Kannada and Malabar districts of Madras state, were united and organized into the Union Territory of Lakshadweep. Telangana was created on 2 June 2014 by bifurcating Andhra Pradesh, and it comprises 10 districts of the erstwhile state of Andhra Pradesh. Kara taluk is a smaller administrative division than a district. Geography. South India is a peninsula in the shape of an inverted triangle bound by the Arabian Sea on the west, by the Bay of Bengal on the east and Vindhya and Satpura ranges on the north. The Narmada River flows westwards in the depression between the Vindhya and Satpura ranges which define the northern spur of the Deccan Plateau. The Western Ghats run parallel along the western coast, and the narrow strip of land between the Western Ghats and the Arabian Sea forms the Kingan region. The Western Ghats continue south until Kanyakumari. The Eastern Ghats run parallel along the eastern coast, and the strip of land between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal forms the Coromandel region. Both the ranges meet at the Nilgiri Mountains. The Nilgiris run in a crescent approximately along the borders of Tamil Nadu with northern Kerala and Karnataka, encompassing the Palakkad and Wayanad hills and the Satyamangalam ranges, extending on to the relatively low-lying hills of the Eastern Ghats on the western portion of the Tamil Nadu-Andhra Pradesh border, forming the Tirupati and Anamalai hills. The low-lying coral islands of Lakshadweep are situated off the southwestern coast of India. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands lie far off the eastern coast of India. The Palk Strait and the chain of low sandbars and islands known as Rama's Bridge separate the region from Sri Lanka, which lies off the southeastern coast. The southernmost tip of mainland India is at Kanyakumari, where the Indian Ocean meets the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. The Deccan Plateau is the elevated region bound by the mountain ranges. The plateau rises to 100 meters in the north and to more than 1 kilometer in the south, forming a raised triangle within the downward-pointing triangle of the Indian subcontinent's coastline. It also slopes gently from west to east, resulting in major rivers arising in the Western Ghats and flowing east into the Bay of Bengal. The volcanic basalt beds of the Deccan were laid down in the massive Deccan Traps eruption, which occurred towards the end of the Cretaceous period between 67 and 66 million years ago. Layer after layer was formed by the volcanic activity that lasted 30,000 years, and when the volcanoes became extinct, they left a region of highlands with typically vast stretches of flat areas on top like a table. The plateau is watered by east-flowing rivers Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri and Vaigai. The major tributaries include Pennar, Tungabhadra, Bhavani and Thamirabrani. Climate. The region has a tropical climate and depends on monsoons for rainfall. According to the Köppen climate classification, it has a non-arid climate with minimum mean temperatures of 18 degrees Celsius. The most humid is the tropical monsoon climate, characterized by moderate to high year-round temperatures and seasonal heavy rainfall above 2,000 millimeters per year. The tropical climate is experienced in a strip of southwestern lowlands abutting the Malabar coast. The Western Ghats and the islands of Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar are also subject to this climate. The tropical wet and dry climate, drier than areas with a tropical monsoon climate, prevails over most of inland peninsular region except for a semi-arid rain shadow east of the Western Ghats. Winter and early summer are long and dry periods with temperatures averaging above 18 degrees Celsius. Summer is exceedingly hot with temperatures in low-lying areas exceeding 50 degrees Celsius, and the rainy season lasts from June to September with annual rainfall averaging between 750 and 1,500 millimeters across the region. Once the dry northeast monsoon begins in September, most precipitation in India falls in Tamil Nadu, leaving other states comparatively dry. The hot semi-arid climate predominates the land east of the Western Ghats and the Cardamom Hills. The region, which includes Karnataka, inland Tamil Nadu and western Andhra Pradesh, gets between 400 and 750 millimeters of rainfall annually, with hot summers and dry winters with temperatures around 20 to 24 degrees Celsius. The months between March and May are hot and dry, with mean monthly temperatures hover around 32 degrees Celsius, with 320 millimeters precipitation and without artificial irrigation. This region is not suitable for agriculture. The southwest monsoon from June to September accounts for most of the rainfall in the region. The Arabian Sea branch of the southwest monsoon hits the Western Ghats along the coastal state of Kerala and moves northwards along the Kingan coast, with precipitation on coastal areas west of the Western Ghats. The lofty Western Ghats prevent the winds from reaching the Deccan Plateau, hence the leeward region receives very little rainfall. The Bay of Bengal branch of southwest monsoon heads toward northeast India, picking up moisture from the Bay of Bengal. The Coromandel coast does not receive much rainfall from the southwest monsoon due to the shape of the land. Tamil Nadu and southeast Andhra Pradesh receive rains from the northeast monsoon. The northeast monsoon takes place from November to early March when the surface high-pressure system is strongest. The North Indian Ocean tropical cyclones occur throughout the year in Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, bringing devastating winds and heavy rainfall. Flora and fauna. There is a wide diversity of plants and animals in South India, resulting from its varied climates and geography. Deciduous forests are found along the Western Ghats, while tropical dry forests and scrublands are common in the interior Deccan Plateau. The southern Western Ghats have rainforests located at high altitudes called the southwestern Ghats montane rainforests and the Malabar coast. Moist forests found on the coastal plains. The Western Ghats is one of the 8 hottest biodiversity hotspots in the world and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Important ecological regions of South India are the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, located at the conjunction of the borders of Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu in the Nilgiri Hills and the Annamalai Hills in the Western Ghats. Bird sanctuaries including Vedanthangal, Ranganathatta, Kumarikam, Neelapattu and Pulicat are home to numerous migratory and local birds. Lakshadweep has been declared a bird sanctuary by the Wildlife Institute of India. Other protected ecological sites include the mangrove forests of Pikavaram in Tamil Nadu, the backwaters of Pulicat Lake in Tamil Nadu and Vembanad, Ashtamudi, Paravur and Kayamkulam lakes in Kerala. The Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve covers an area of 10,500 square kilometers of ocean islands and the adjoining coastline, including coral reefs, salt marshes and mangroves. It is home to endangered aquatic species including dolphins, dugongs, whales and sea cucumbers. The region is home to one of the largest populations of endangered Indian elephant and Bengal tiger in India. Elephant populations are found in 8 fragmented sites in South India, in northern Karnataka, along the Western Ghats, in Bhadra Malnad, in Brahmagiri in Nilgiri's Eastern Ghats, in Nilambar Silent Valley Coimbatore, in Annamalai Parambiculam, in Periyar Srivilliputtur and Agathamalai. The region is home to 1/3 of the tiger population and more than half of the elephant population of India. There are 14 Project Tiger reserves and 11 Project Elephant reserves in the region. Other threatened and endangered species found in the region include grizzled giant squirrel, grey slender loris, sloth bear, Nilgiri tahr, Nilgiri langur, lion-tailed macaque, and Indian leopard. Demographics. As per the 2011 census of India, the estimated population of South India is 252 million, around 1/5 of the total population of India. The region's total fertility rate was less than the population replacement level of 2.1 for all states, with Kerala and Tamil Nadu having the lowest TFRs in India at 1.7. As a result, the proportion of the population of South India to India's total population has declined from 1981 to 2011. The population density of the region is approximately 463. Scheduled castes and tribes form 18% of the population of the region. Agriculture is the major employer in the region, with 47.5% of the population is involved in agrarian activities. About 60% of the population lives in permanent housing structures. 67.8% of South India has access to tap water, with wells and springs forming other major sources of water supply. After experiencing fluctuations in the decades immediately after the independence of India, the economies of South Indian states have registered growth higher than the national average over the past 3 decades. While South Indian states have improved in some of the socio-economic metrics, poverty continues to affect the region as it does the rest of the country, although it has considerably decreased over the years. Basis the 2011 census, HDI in the southern states is high and the economy has grown at a faster rate than most northern states. As per the 2011 census, the average literacy rate in South India is approximately 80%, considerably higher than the Indian national average of 74%, with Kerala having the highest literacy rate of 93.91%. South India has the highest sex ratio, with Kerala and Tamil Nadu being the top 2 states. The South Indian states rank amongst the top 10 in economic freedom, life expectancy, access to drinking water, house ownership and TV ownership. Poverty rate is at 19%, while that in the other Indian states is at 38%. The per capita income is 19,531 rupees, which is more than double of the other Indian states. Of the 3 demographic-related targets of the Millennium Development Goals set by the United Nations expected to be achieved by 2015, Kerala and Tamil Nadu achieved the goals related to improvement of maternal health and of reducing infant mortality and child mortality by 2009. Languages. The largest linguistic group in South India is the Dravidian family of languages, a family of approximately 73 languages. The major languages spoken include Tamil, Telugu, Kannada and Malayalam. Tulu is spoken by about 1.5 million people in coastal Kerala and Karnataka, and Kingani, an Indo-Aryan language, is spoken by 500,000 people in the Kingan coast. English is also widely spoken in urban areas of South India. Urdu is spoken by around 12 million Muslims in southern India. Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam and Kingani are listed amongst the 22 official languages of India as per the Official Languages Act. Tamil was the first language to be granted classical language status by the Government of India in 2004. Other major languages declared classical were Kannada, Telugu and Malayalam. Religion. Hinduism is the major religion, with about 80% of the population adhering to it. About 11% of the population follow Islam and 8% follow Christianity. Evidence of prehistoric religion in South India comes from scattered Mesolithic rock paintings depicting dances and rituals in Stone Age sites such as the Kupgal petroglyphs of eastern Karnataka. Hinduism, often regarded as the oldest religion in the world, traces its roots to prehistoric times in India. The main spiritual traditions of South India include both Shaivite and Vaishnavite branches of Hinduism. Although Buddhist and Jain philosophies had been influential several centuries earlier, Ayurveda is spread significantly across the southern parts of South India. Islam was introduced to South India in the early 7th century by Arab traders in Malabar coast of Kerala and spread during the rule of Deccan sultanates from 17th to 18th century, and the Muslims in Kerala of Arab descent are called Janakamappilla. Christianity was introduced to South India by Thomas the Apostle, who visited Muziris in Kerala in 52 CE and baptized Kerala's Jewish settlements. Kerala is also home to one of the oldest Jewish communities in the world, who are supposed to have arrived in the Malabar coast during the reign of King Solomon. Economy. The economy of South India after the independence of the nation conformed to a socialist framework, with strict governmental control over private sector participation, foreign trade and foreign direct investment. Through 1960 to 1990, the South Indian economies experienced mixed economic growth. In the 1960s, Kerala achieved above-average economic growth while Andhra Pradesh's economy declined during this period. Kerala experienced an economic decline in the 1970s while the economies of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Karnataka consistently exceeded national average growth rates after 1970 due to reform-oriented economic policies compared to other Indian states. As of 2013-14, the total gross domestic product of the region is 27.1 trillion rupees. Tamil Nadu has the second highest GDP and is the second most industrialized state in the country after Maharashtra. As of March 2015, there are 109 operational special economic zones in South India, which is about 60% of the country's total. Over 48% of South India's population is engaged in agriculture, which is largely dependent on seasonal monsoons. Some of the main crops cultivated in South India include paddy, sorghum, pearl millet pulses, sugarcane, cotton, chili and ragi. Areca, coffee, tea, rubber and spices are cultivated on the hilly regions. The staple food is rice. The delta regions of Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri are amongst the top rice-producing areas in the country. Frequent droughts have left farmers debt-ridden, forcing them to sell their livestock and sometimes to commit suicide. The region accounts for 92% of the total coffee production in India. South India is also a major producer of cotton, tea, rubber, turmeric, mangoes and spices. Other major agriculture-related produce includes silk and poultry. The other major industry is textiles, with the region being home to nearly 60% of the fiber textile mills in India. Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Coimbatore and Tiruvananthapuram are amongst the major IT hubs of India, and Bangalore is also known as the Silicon Valley of India. The growth of information technology hubs in the region have spurred economic growth and attracted foreign investments and job seekers from other parts of the country. Software exports from South India grossed over 640 billion rupees in fiscal 2005-06. Chennai, known as the Detroit of Asia, accounts for about 35% of India's overall automotive components and automobile output. The region supplies two-thirds of India's requirements of motors and pumps and is one of the largest exporters of jewelry, wet grinders and auto components. Tourism contributes significantly to the GDP of the region, with four states, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, among the top 10 states for tourist arrivals and accounting for more than 50% of domestic tourist visits. Subdivisions. South India consists of the 5 southern Indian states of Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Kerala and Tamil Nadu, as well as the union territories of Puducherry, Lakshadweep and Andaman and Nicobar. Puducherry and the 5 states have an elected state government each, while the Lakshadweep and Andaman Islands are centrally administered by the President of India. Each sub-region is further divided into districts. Each state is headed by a governor, who is a direct appointee of the President of India, while the Chief Minister is the elected head of the state government and represents the state's ruling party, a coalition. States. Note 1. Andhra Pradesh was divided into 2 states, Telangana and a residual Andhra Pradesh, on the 2nd of June 2014. Hyderabad, located entirely within the borders of Telangana, is to serve as joint capital for both states for a period of time not exceeding 10 years. Union Territories Administration. South India elects 132 members to the Lok Sabha, accounting for roughly one-fourth of the total strength. The region has an allocation of 58 seats in Rajya Sabha out of the total 245. Each state is headed by a governor, who is a direct appointee of the President of India. The Chief Minister is the elected head of the state government and represents the ruling party, or coalition. Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry follow unicameral legislature, while Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka and Telangana follow bicameral legislature. State legislatures elect members for terms of 5 years. States with bicameral legislatures have an upper house with members not more than one-third the size of the assembly. Governors may suspend or dissolve assemblies and can administer when no party is able to form a government. Each state is organized into a number of districts, which are further subdivided into revenue divisions and taluks for administration. Local bodies govern respective cities, towns and villages, with each electing a mayor, municipal chairman and panchayat chairman respectively to head the same.